Greetings, salam. This is Hubb'Allah, a writer, thinker, mother, homesteader wannabe, homeschooler actually, based in the Pakistani Himalayas. For those who are not familiar, salam is a Muslim greeting. I translated um, in a manner that addresses the psyche and uses spiritual, psychic definitions. And I translate salam as may peace and wholeness be upon you. May the parts of your psyche and your being be put together right now and going forward. And may you be fully present in this conversation, all here. Salam just means being collected. A lot of people translated that as peace, but peace actually is the outcome of being put together. So being at peace and rest, all parts to be together, all together means salam. So last we met more than a month ago, and I was talking about my journey into the ecofeminine and the applications of it, and I talked about this particular AI-generated image. Let me get out of the way and show it to you. So the prompts that I gave here are multi-ethnic women in America doing craft work together and in a room with their, craft materials and their books and stuff. And outside of the windows, there are beehives. But what it did was, while the women look more realistic, the AI, I don't think, because Meta AI is more of a more simple AI, I don't think it could handle the complexity of the prompts and the beehives that are showed outside the bee boxes. They look like an illustration. But anyway, the point is there. What I meant to show were like real bee boxes from the windows, so you could see that outside of this particular room or center they would have bee boxes. I was trying to show an ecologically designed craft center where people are coming together, women are coming together to do work. It could even be a co-ed space, but I was looking at more feminine spaces with women. And I see this as the seeding center of a new economy. Now, in the weeks since our last video, things have become extremely, they're accelerating everything. Okay, so hold on, we have this heater in my room go off. So since our last conversation, which was on September 22nd, I believe, things are really accelerating. There's the American election, which is the news all over my Facebook, my social media. Perhaps I have more of an American presence there. There are things happening in my own country, Pakistan. I'm in the Himalayas, which is a bit cut off, and it's a bit of an interesting place. We have a multinational influence here. BRICS, which is a regional cooperation organization, is expanding. It had a conference in Russia. New countries were added to this particular bloc, which is actually, it's like, it is a bloc of nations which are the rest of the world, the non-Western, non-developed nations, mostly non-developed nations, but spearheaded by some very developed nations. Russia, India and China are now developed nations, or they have their own civilization. So these countries are forming like a parallel bloc to sort of balance out the West. Not sort of, but actually balance out the West. And I cannot even encompass the developments that have taken place. They're talking about de-dollarization, new currencies, whatever. Like, a whole new world is springing up, and we're talking about new currencies. There isn't any one type of currency. We're talking about digital currencies. There are people talking about local currencies. It's like every person of influence is kind of exploding and making their own circle of influence to whom they're teaching things and whom they're taking along with them. And so what I did, meanwhile, I developed this website called the Ecofeminine, and my perspective since long has been that, and it's kind of shifting as well, because a lot of developments that have taken place which are not in alignment with my original perspective that was there around 14, 15 years ago. There are aspects of it that I have revised and edited because I thought I may have become too hermetic, um, or some of those things that were in my mind were perhaps too radical, perhaps too antiquated. But what I really have in mind is this image of a civilization or a new economy which human beings are seeding uh, through our hands, working with hands. Um, since I first had this idea, human beings are obviously really moving into continuing our species and furthering our species and our advancement through digital means. We now have AI. I just don't even know how to encompass all this in one small talk. But anyway, my vision that I presented to you in front of you in my last talk is to get people more grounded in what we consider to be the real world, though that's debatable because there are levels to what the world is. We can go from a more grounded, more earthy, more tangible world to even a less tangible world. Whether this is an ideal or not, I will not say anymore because the world has moved on in this direction. But I personally believe that digitalization is very risky. The extent and the level of digitalization that we have is taking us out of our bodies into this etheric thought space where we are just trading a lot of information and ideas. And that's great because we need that kind of space, but we need to also pull out of it and then be in our bodies and live on the land, work with the land, have food. So I don't know. Some people call this new economy of hyper digitalization, and actually not of divine origin or intention or taking the divine direction. If I may use the words, this is called the economy of the formation or the template or the design of the Antichrist. Muslims call it Dajjal. Dajjal actually is a word which means, said to be the name of a creature or a being that will spring up near end times. And yes, we're talking end times now because things are getting so biblical so fast that we need to bring this up. But what the word Dajjal really means is deception. So it has been overtly said that it'll be an age of deception. Everything will be deceptive. Everything will be very confusing. Everything will be murky. And Dajjal really is a word that means something which is murky, which is something that's really confusing. If you're looking at it, it's kind of shimmery, it's kind of vague. You can't tell if it's golden or if it's blue. It's like an illusion. There's something that keeps on changing. It's not even a fixed illusion where you say, oh, are you able to see, like, are you seeing trenches or are you seeing peaks? No. It is an illusion that keeps on moving, like this green screen thing. Just keeps on like, is it there? Is it not there? Is it there? Is it not there? That kind of thing. So that's the age of the Antichrist. And it's more likely to happen when we move into digital or thought realms because thoughts can just move in and out, form, not form, right? And when thoughts become solid, what we do have is this land, is this world, this three-dimensional reality that we have. And it's not solid because it can keep on changing, it can be formed, right? So this is the nature of reality. It is being formed, it is being constructed with our words, thought, intentions, and actions. It's like it starts with the word. And if you are a person of heightened spiritual power, your words can really actually generate something out of nothing. Literally, I say butterfly, and butterfly will be created. But for most people, it takes a bit of process for that thing to become. For example, I say, well, and we see this happen every day. Like I say, oh, pizza. Let's make a pizza. So we put ingredients together and then we have a pizza, but there's more of a tangible process that you can see. Some people have a miraculous power of manifestation, but by miracle, I mean they don't get a pizza sent by a friend. They say pizza, it just comes out of the air, but we're not going to go there. We're going to come back here and talk about this image and some other images that I generated some time ago. and let's talk about something that we can do in this real world with our real bodies and hands. Next video.